Greetings, folks. Iolair here. A big shout out and welcome to all of the recently new subscribers to the channel. We set a goal for end of February 2020 to reach 355 subscribers, and we're already well on our way. So thank you very much, everyone who has recently joined. And also thank you to everyone for getting the word out. Now, if you are new to the channel, or even if you aren't new to the channel, and are interested in following me on other platforms, I am very active on Facebook, on Twitter, and on my Discord server. And I also do occasionally stream on Twitch. Now, this match, while it's going to center on me in the Tier 9 Soviet cruiser, the Dmitri Donskoi, this match is really going to be, in my opinion, about our destroyers. This is an all Tier 9 domination match on Land of Fire, and there are 3 destroyers per team. My build in the Donskoi is a traditional fire starter with IFHE and demolition expert, and I'll be firing HE most of the battle. And unfortunately, this poor Missouri is going to experience the wrath of all those fires as my first victim on this in this match. Now, as I mentioned, this match, in my opinion, is really going to be more about my team's destroyers than me, frankly, because in my experience, other than maybe a very well played carrier, destroyers have or can have the greatest influence on a match of all classes in the game, as our allied Fletcher just took down the Friesland for first blood for our team. And when a destroyer or destroyers play well and they stay alive, they spot for the team, they contest areas, and they help combat other destroyers, it makes it a lot easier for the rest of the team to do its job too. So as I mentioned, this match, in my opinion, is going to be about what I think is going to be some very good performance from all 3 of our destroyers. Our allied Kitakaze here at Alpha has helped secure that cap. Our Udaloy, and I need to give a shout out to Byzantine Falcon in the Udaloy, who is also an active member of some of the World of Warships Facebook groups, and he and I exchange comments, positive comments with each other on the channel quite often as I take a citadel through the backside from the Missouri. I'm sure he's getting frustrated with all the fires and shots I'm taking at him. Byzantine Falcon in the Udaloy has secured Bravo for our cap. And while we haven't taken C yet, the presence of our Fletcher, the fact that he took out the Friesland, or helped finish off the Friesland, is going to delay the opposition from pushing into Charlie, even though, frankly, that's their strong flank. It's going to be a long time before they get in. And so while our Fletcher, and we'll see this in the experience results, the leaderboard at the end of the match, while our Fletcher may not earn a lot of experience from what we can see just numerically, in my opinion, based on how things went down there, his presence and really delayed the opponents from pushing into that cap, and that also played a major role in being able to control that east side of the map. Now, I've set fire again to the Missouri. Thankfully, 2 of our battleships, our Musashi and the, I think that's an Iowa, have pushed up quite far, which is very good. And that makes it easier, frankly, also for cruisers to support the team, because as Flamu has so eloquently pointed out, don't be the first cruiser spotted, because cruisers tend to be prime targets early in matches because they're often positioned ahead of battleships when the teams spawn. They often are the first ships to get spotted, even ahead of the destroyers. And so when the battleships do push up and help draw the fire for the team, that really helps the allied destroyers and cruisers do their job as well. Now, unfortunately, we lose our Musashi as I do finish off the Missouri, and I think I shot at him almost exclusively for the first 5 minutes here and did 76,000 damage. I think almost all of that was to the Missouri. But we did lose our Musashi. He, I think, was a little too aggressive in his posture. He ended up being broadside to both of the battleships that were here at Alpha, and he was focused out. I'm going to move up here. We have a very strong handle on the Alpha side of the map. We've driven off the opposing Donskoi. The Azuma is peeling away. There is a black that is on the one line. Frankly, it's going to turn out that he just isn't going to be very influential in this match, as our Alaska has now just popped radar and has lit up the black. I'm going to take a couple of shots here. Even though the shell ballistics are very good on the Donskoi, hitting a small target, well, I do get 4 shells there, but hitting a small maneuverable target at over 10 kilometers can be a little bit tricky. So I will get shots in as long as the black remains lit. I do get a couple more shells with a fire, but he's getting beaten up pretty well, and the Alaska will eventually charge him down. Although the black is not playing to the objective, and having a lot of our team try to follow him would be a bad thing, and would just put too many resources away from the objective. So our Alaska will go and follow him up, and the rest of us are headed toward the middle of the cap. Now, I'm going to draw your attention back over to the Charlie side of the map. So this is the east side. Our presence there has been heavily thinned, again, because the opponents, the east side is their strong flank. And again, I suspect that the presence of our Fletcher, and he's probably sending torpedoes regularly, and just the fact that they know he's there is really slowing the opponents from pushing into Charlie. And so unfortunately, I didn't have obviously any clear visibility on exactly what the Fletcher was doing, but the fact that he's hanging around close to the Charlie cap and is helping to just keep the opponents back. I take another long shot on the black, but unfortunately I miss. I think has probably made a major difference in the opponents pushing in on that side, and you can now see that one of the opposition is now just starting to push into Charlie. There is another destroyer there. Unfortunately, we do lose our Fletcher to the Missouri, so obviously there was a radar ship there that could light up our Fletcher, and unfortunately we do lose him. But we're almost 9 minutes into the match, and the opponents are only now starting to get a handle on the Charlie cap. We have held Bravo for the entirety of the game, so again, thanks to Byzantine Falcon for that. We do lose the last of our ships. That was the Georgia on the east flank. So now the opposition has total control of east, but because our team controls Alpha and Bravo, we have a pretty substantial point lead, even though we have a ship deficit. So fortunately, our Udaloi, again, Byzantine Falcon in the Udaloi, as well as our Kitakaze and our Georgia are all moving toward the middle of the map. I'm sorry, that is not a Georgia. That's another battleship. Our Georgia has gone quite far north, and he's kind of taken himself a little bit out of the battle, which is a little bit frustrating. But he does end up finishing off the black, and Byzantine Falcon finishes off the last of the opposition's destroyers that had just come out of the Charlie cap. So we have a very substantial point lead, and we now have a 1-ship advantage. Byzantine Falcon in the Udaloi is just smoked up here. I think he obviously was detected, and he probably was the focus of the Missouri, the Jean Bar, and I forget what the other battleship that was over there. I think that's the Georgia. We lose our Iowa. That was the other battleship that had moved to the middle of the map. But again, we still have a healthy point lead, and we have the ship counts are even. I set a fire on the Missouri. I'm able to operate here thanks to the spotting of Byzantine Falcon. I'm able to sit behind this island and be able to put concealed fire on the Missouri. The Missouri obviously is damage controlled, so I'm trying to get another fire set on him. So again, this is a reflection of our destroyers are staying very close to the objectives to help defend them. You can see some torpedoes from Byzantine Falcon going in on the Missouri, and he's sending fire to help sort of draw things away. It looks like he does get a torpedo on the Missouri. I don't remember if he got flooding with that. It does look like the Missouri is flooding. And again, I'm trying to just support him here, being able to operate from some concealment. And it looks like he also got a fire on the Missouri. So the Missouri is going down here pretty quickly. And our Kitakaze, as I mentioned, the other destroyer, is staying very close to the center of the map. So very good spotting, area control by our destroyers. The Missouri goes briefly into concealment as Byzantine Falcon has had to peel away here because he obviously was getting quite focused. Missouri does show back up here. I'm going to hold my fire on him because the torpedoes from Byzantine Falcon are going to finish off the Missouri, and I'm going to give him the kill on that. Oh, not quite, but he is burning. And then I'm going to put fire on the Jean Bar, and I do get a fire on the Jean Bar. And there goes the Missouri due to fires actually from our Kitakaze. So going to put pressure on the Jean Bar. We also see that there is a Seattle that has come out of the Charlie Cap, and that is going to be the other ship that I'm going to tend to focus here because I'm assuming that he has used his radar, or maybe Byzantine Falcon is firing his guns. The Iolair is very fast, not quite as fast as her sister ship, the Tashkent, but she's still a very good high-speed gunboat, and he's helping to draw the attention of the Seattle, again pulling the opponents away from trying to move it into the cap, which is again another very good reflection. Our Kitakaze, again, hats off to him. He gets a beautiful strike with torpedoes on the Jean Bar, taking the Jean Bar out. I've got a flat broadside of the Seattle, going to be pumping AP into him. I do get briefly detected here. I do take a couple of shells, but nothing too bad. Another Citadel hit on the Seattle. And the Seattle is in kind of in a tough position because he's going to end up being broadside to either me or the Iolair or somebody if he tries to turn back toward me. He's got the island that's on his port side. You can see he's turning to port, but he's going to run into the surface. We do lose Byzantine Falcon, but personally I think that his engagement and the fact that he drew the Seattle away from the cap was a good thing. He kind of got the Seattle to sort of tunnel vision on the destroyer rather than working the objective. And the last of the battleships on the opposition, the Georgia, is again not going into the cap. I'm not sure why, but he's front and center between the Kitakaze and our Alaska and our Georgia, and they are going to take down the opposing Georgia here fairly quickly. I'm just trying to get things finished off with the Seattle. There you go. And that brings it down to a 2-on-4 situation. We're well over 900 points. And in fact, it's going to turn out that our Georgia is actually going to end up ramming the opposing Georgia here to finish him off. And then the Azuma, which is you can see over in the Charlie Cap, there's the ram, is actually going to survive the battle. So I'm going to just head over to the results. So a very good match, almost 162,000 in damage, a couple of kills, lots of fires, and again, a big hats off to our destroyers. Kitakaze, our Iolair, Byzantine Falcon, as well as our Fletcher, really did a great job helping to control this match. So thank you very much, destroyers, for doing an excellent job. I hope everybody enjoyed the replay and the commentary. Please do leave your comments below. And as always, we hope to see you out there, and we wish you happy sailing.